Thank you, sir.
Tejas Sudeep Sarda.
Yes, sir.
Have you heard of Sharda Act?
Pardon me, sir.
Sharda Act, 1929.
Sharda Act. Yes, sir. Yes. Sir, it was passed by on the recommendations of Mr. Hargobind Das Sarda, if I am not mistaken, and it was
What?
regarding child marriage
Mhm.
to increase the age of marriage for boys to 16 and for girls to 14. I am not exactly sure about the age, sir, but it was regarding
That's good,
child marriage.
Sudeep. Sudeep, now regarding the existing marriages, is there a need to increase that?
Sir, there are two trends regarding it. As our Honorable Prime Minister said, the age of both the sexes should be raised to 21. The benefit is that especially the girls of adolescent age will get to complete their higher education, which will equip them to enter into the workforce and get a more paying or more qualified job. But the downside is that, sir, even the current age limits are at places not being enforced very well. And it leads to sometimes harassment of some communities because in their traditional sense, the marriage is permitted. For example, sir, in the Muslim personal law, the marriage is allowed once a girl reaches puberty. So there is some legal tussle in that regard. So either it should be reduced and made same for both the boys and girls to 18 years or 21 years. Either way looks good to me, sir.
Okay, that's good. You are a doctor. Who was Hippocrates?
Sir, Hippocrates was the ancient Greek doctor, so to say, of those kinds, of those times, who invented the Hippocratic. He did not invent actually, sir, but the Hippocratic oath is. Sorry, sir.
Was he a doctor?
Sir, I believe the doctor in the traditional sense, as we understand, was not the doctor of those times, but he was more of a philosopher and a knowledgeable person of all sorts of disciplines, sir. All disciplines of knowledge.
And what is the difference between Charak and Sushrut?
The Charak was the Indian, so he was the father of Indian medicine, and he wrote Charak Samhita. It deals more with the diseases, the Ayurvedic herbs to deal with them, and Sushrut was the father of Indian surgery. So he wrote about various surgical elements and how to do do a rhinoplasty or use the leeches and hirudin chemical in them to use for blood transfusion, etc. So medicine and surgery, sir.
What about Tejas? Tejas? Capability of Tejas?
Sir, are you referring to Tejas the word or naturally. Myself?
No, not you.
The Tejas basically is a Sanskrit origin name which means bright.
Also luminous. Some fighter aircraft or something like that?
Yes, sir, yes. The indigenous light combat aircraft Tejas, which has been the.
Do you have any idea about its capability?
Yes, sir. Sir, currently I think there are 2 squadrons in Indian Air Force, and the current Tejas Mark 1, which is in use, it has around 500 kilometers of a range, and it also carries some missiles. It is the lightest in its category in the world, and that is the unique selling point of it. In fact, India is in talks with some Southeast Asian country like Philippines, Indonesia, etc. to export Tejas as well. And going ahead, Tejas Mark II, which is in plan, will improve even further while using with the use of this General Electric F414 engines. So it will improve the capacity of the Tejas in the dogfights and various surveillance and maneuvers, sir. Okay,
last question from my side, Tejas. How does this climatic change affect our health?
So climate change affects our health in multiple ways, and it is really mind-boggling to understand it in all the dimensions. First, for example, sir, some diseases which were not prevalent are getting more common in some areas. For example, dengue. Now the dengue mosquito, the Aedes mosquito, has been found to survive longer in the increased temperatures. So previously those areas which were not having dengue will have more of it, while at the same time some diseases like malaria, the Anopheles mosquito, which is the carrier of it, will not be able to survive the longer temperature. So there is going to be a shift in the disease composition. Then, sir, there is going to be a change in the food composition as well, and it will have some impact upon the nutrition of the people. and again it will impact the immunity and resilience of the people to face diseases. So that would be one thing. uh, Sir, again an interesting phenomenon has been occurring. There has been a melting of ice, glaciers and ice caps. So some of those diseases which were previously not at all common are now being discovered, and those diseases which were not heard of in last 500-700 years are being reported in those countries where they have been practically wiped out, like some European countries, anthrax, etc. So these strange kind of things are.
Okay, thank you, Tejas.